Funding now on Indiegogo, it's Shadowbinders, our second chance offer to get 2 hardcovers of our classic webcomic delivered to your door. Steampunk, fantasy, and romantic comedy from Clownfish Comics. Go to Indiegogo, check out the link in the description below. Now on with the video. Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're gonna talk about how in California, there's a bill that would ban boys and girls toy sections in department stores. You're not allowed to have a separate boy aisle and a separate girl aisle.
Because if you do, you get fined.
You get fined.
Which is stupid. They're going to literally make it illegal.
Yeah.
To separate boys' toys from girls' toys.
I don't think this is gonna pass. Even thinking toy aisles now, they're divided more by the brand. It just happens to be a quote unquote girls aisle because Barbie and all the Mattel dolls happen to be in this one section.
They do have it divided up, kind of. But here's the thing: when we were kids, everybody played with whatever the hell they wanted to play with, and it was not a problem. Now I'm torn because I see both sides of this one, because I know when Squid King was younger, there was a sewing machine. What was that called? So Easy? So Easy. And he really wanted the So Easy sewing machine, but it only came in pink, so he refused to ask for it because it only came in pink. And this reminds me of when they had the Easy Bake Oven, and there was a controversy, so they made them different colors to make it so boys could use it too, which I am 100% behind. I think that toys should be for whoever wants to play with them. We never limited our kids on you can only play with that because you're a girl or boy. We never did that because that's stupid. But when we were kids, boys played with Cabbage Patch Kids and Care Bears. Girls played with, Hot Wheels and Star Wars figures. And nobody cared.
There are grown-ass men buying My Little Ponies.
There's a bunch of men who buy like dolls and collect them, and nobody cares. And there's a bunch of girls who buy Star Wars figures and different things are classified as boys' toys in quotes. Nobody cares.
California cares because they're going to make it illegal to cross the streams.
This is
not
stupid.
Cross the streams.
Shop in the aisle you want to shop in. Who gives a shit?
California does. So we're going to talk about that. Before we get into it, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We're over 181,000 subs. Thank you for the support.
Woohoo!
Comic Book Resources is talking about it. It's coming from the LA Times. I don't think it's going to get
How are people supposed to find the toys they want? If it goes by this is a doll aisle, that's what it kind of was. It was like, this is the car aisle. This is the doll aisle. It's not, how are you supposed to know where to look then? If it's all mixed together, how are you going to find what you want?
Go to Amazon.
That's probably what's going to happen.
Go to Amazon and you just type in what you want. That's what's going to happen. Remember, I want to talk, before we get into this, remember all the choices in toy stores we had when we were kids. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just Walmart and Target. We had KB's. We had Toys R Us, which Toys R Us got gone not too long ago. I guess they kind of came back, but not quite. We had Lionel Kitty City. We had Play World. We had all these really cool toy stores, and they were all kind of different. They all had kind of their own vibe going on, and now it's just Walmart and Target and Amazon.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just whatever big box stores have toys in them.
Yep. So here we go. This is coming from CBR. California bill proposes gender-neutral toy aisles for kids. And I gotta wonder if Hasbro wasn't ahead of the curve, and that's why they went gender-neutral with Potato Head, even though it would be in the preschool aisle, which is gender-neutral.
They have the kids again.
Oh, they do.
I saw them on pre-order somewhere. They're bringing out the kids. We were joking about it the other day.
The Potato Head kids?
The Potato Head kids are coming back.
I freaking love the Potato Head kids.
I think they should just call them tots. I think they missed it.
Call them the tots.
I think they missed an opportunity there.
Tater tots. A newly proposed bill in the California legislature would they'd make it legal, prevent department stores from dividing toy aisles among cisgender boy-girl lines.
But how are you going to divide them up? When we were kids, you had you had a Barbie aisle, you had a Star Wars aisle, you had it was like He-Man with She-Ra. I just don't understand how they think this is going to work. You're just going to throw them wherever and you have to kind of guess where to find stuff?
Just get a big pile and just throw a bunch of crap in the floor and the kids can just dig.
Yeah, let them dig for it. Because how are you supposed to determine where you're going to find this stuff then?
Yeah, so this is the thing. I want to talk about historically, this is a more recent thing because they talk about how They said that some children are limited from exploring interests that might have previously, followed the gender role assumption or whatever, like a lack of science-related toys in the girls' assigned aisle.
That's not true.
Or a lack of cooking toys in the boy assigned aisle. This is not true. In fact, if you go back and look, and there was this article from years ago. If you go back and look in the 50s and 60s, there were metal science kits. We saw one at the antique store that had a boy and a girl. If you watch vintage toy commercials, and Pinky Boo used to watch a lot of vintage toy commercials, if you watch vintage toy commercials, you'll see that they have boys and girls playing together with about 90% of the toys.
Yes. And when we were kids, boys and girls played together and were in the commercials on most of the toy lines too. And, they're saying about not having science kits and stuff. You know what? Here's the thing for you. If you don't actually have kids, you wouldn't actually know this. But if you try to, go search for science kits and things like that anyway, they're not usually in either the boy or girl aisle. They're in like the general area, or they're part of arts and crafts or something like that. They aren't in the boy aisle or the girl aisle specifically either. They have aisles that are both and have things like science kits in them. If you actually have kids, you effing know that.
Well, that's like, I'm sitting here thinking about Walmart now, even the way it's laid out. It's like you've got the action figure aisle. Mm-hmm. You've got the doll aisle. Mm-hmm. You've got the preschool, which is boy and girl. Right. And then you've got, crafts and Legos and stuff like that.
For real friends and all that. And, they have them now that they aren't like, they don't have the for real friends only in the girl aisle. They are in an aisle off to themselves with like some of the for real friends, where they have the dinosaurs and the robotic dinosaurs. They're all together. Legos are all put together. And I'm going to take a moment. You can go here in a second, but I want to take a moment because a couple years ago, it was about 2014 or 15, I got in a fight on Twitter. This is before I was canceled for, alleged wrong thing because they assume I vote a certain way. Where one person was like, well, I think that they should get rid of the Lego Friends line because the Lego Friends range, because they're like, we should get rid of it because, it's just pink and purple and girls should be allowed to choose whatever. They shouldn't have to have pink and purple. Here's the thing. Girls already could choose anything with Legos. They had all kinds of IPs and just general city sets and basic blocks and all different colors. And it wasn't gender-based, and it still isn't gender-based, but they did Lego Friends for girls who like pink and purple, like my daughter, who loved Lego Friends, who did not like other Lego sets. If it had been me, I'd have been buying the Star Wars Lego sets, because everybody's different, and they didn't have a girly-looking one, so they did one. But they weren't always marketed just to girls. Just like all the other Legos are marketed just to boys. That's not how this went down.
No, they had, like in the 90s, they had, Zach the Lego Maniac or whatever. But when I first started playing with Legos back in the 80s, they had like the town sets.
Yeah, they didn't have the cool ones they have now.
No, it was just like they had, I remember when I first started buying Legos, they had Duplo, they had generic Legos, then they had the Lego City, Lego Town, they had a medieval theme, and they had space. And that was it. So the commercials, usually it was boys and girls playing together with the town stuff, like Fire Station or the whatever.
It's still 90% just gender neutral Lego sets. And then they dared do a line like this that little girls might like to try to get a little more, try to make it more accessible to some girls for Lego. And they had a meltdown because how dare they? Yeah. Thing is, boys can buy this set too. But at the end of the day, these Lego Friends make up a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of the Lego line. The majority of it is like for everyone. It's all for everyone. But like the majority of it was for boys and girls. So it's like people were just trying to cancel it because it was pink. But I'm like, meanwhile, for every one set of Lego Friends, you have like 30, 40 sets of other things that are gender neutral. It doesn't really matter. So what difference does it make? My daughter liked Lego Friends because she liked pink and purple.
Look at that little boy here in the 70s playing with this refrigerator. Mm-hmm. How dare he?
Yeah, this is a load of crap.
Our kids had a little Tykes refrigerator.
They had a kitchen. They both played with it. They both at one point wanted to be cooks, chefs. Our son, wanted a sewing machine. Another reason he didn't ask for it was because it was pink. And I did get kind of mad about that because I'm like, yeah, why couldn't they have made it like white or something so that, boys or girls could play with it? We said, it's okay, bud, you can have it if it's pink. And he was so afraid of being picked on that he didn't do it.
Yeah, here, this is in the 70s. Sears catalog. They've got a girl with a construction set,
Mm-hmm. Guess who fixes the stuff at our house? He's laughing because it's true.
Guess who breaks her fingers when she does it, and I feel really bad.
Well, and then Squid King likes to make fun of me. He's like, "This is Mom. Slam! I broke my finger. I'm crying, but I'm getting this damn floor done." And I did. My dad helped me though.
It's kind of like Atari too. You look at the Atari ads, the early Atari ads.
Nintendo too. They had girls in it too.
Yeah, and it wasn't until like the 90s that I think things changed. Because again, when we grew up, I remember a lot of those toy lines, Care Bears and Cabbage Patch and whatever, they were not really...
Teddy Ruxpin boys and girls.
Yeah, they were both boys and girls. Because, I mean, frankly, from a business perspective, it makes the most sense to sell to as many people as you possibly can sell to. You know? It was just like Hot Wheels and Barbie, and they just kind of got... Basically, what happened was...
I played with both.
Yeah, you had the Barbie aisle, but then all the other dolls wound up in the Barbie aisle. But even, we were talking about He-Man and She-Ra, and I remember displays, end caps that had He-Man and She-Ra on the same end cap, and then a lot of times they put, the He-Mans in the boy section and She-Ra in the girl section, but there were displays, especially when the movie came out, that they had both on one display.
Yeah, I remember them being mixed all the time. I used to go look at the Star Wars toys. My brother had masks, and I loved masks, so I used to play masks with my brother all the time.
So I think this is, Target, I know they phased out science. If you go to Target again, they've got the, science section, the craft section.
That's what I'm saying. They're not in the boys or girls, determined sections anyway, so that's a load of shit.
Now, here's the thing. If you do not abide by this law, if it gets passed, it's still in committee, right? You get fined $1,000 if you have a gendered aisle. So here's who decides if the aisle is gendered. If you go down and it's all like pink boxes or something, is that like, do you get fined $1,000?
Yeah, well, if you're not marking it as gendered, why is that a problem? Because there's no way to win this. Because you're gonna keep like toys together for no other reason than it's easier to find them. You can't just have, you can't just have an aisle that has like half, He-Man reissues and half, Barbie, because then it's going to be really confusing. I mean, you just kind of keep like toys. Like you said, right now it's like action figure aisle. They have a car section. They have doll sections. They have craft sections. It's more about the type of toy than it is by this is a girl aisle, boy aisle.
But to make it illegal for store owners to be able to categorize stuff, based on assumed gender is just stupid.
Well, you shouldn't. You should be gender inclusive and not assume genders, unless we're gonna have a fit if you dare lump things together.
Yeah, so I think this is kind of, maybe Hasbro was ahead of the curve.
This is stupid.
It is stupid. It's like it's already kind of gone that way, and she seems like she is completely out of touch with, kids anyway.
I was saying she doesn't even have kids.
She probably doesn't have kids. This is a nothing burger, but of course we gotta make it a law to make it look like this law isn't
California too.
Yeah, this isn't about actual gender equality. This law is about virtue signaling. Being like, look how inclusive we are. We're going to make a law so you can't put all the dolls together because that's sexist.
Even though you might be looking for a doll, so you go to the doll aisle.
No more pink boxes for Barbie because that's sexist.
Even though that's her signature color.
That's her signature color. But that's a problem because pink and girls, that's
But you know what? Here's an idea. If you don't like it, don't buy that.
Don't buy it.
Problem solved. Why should we have to change because you don't like it when 99% of the other people don't care?
Everybody's going to buy off of Amazon anyway because all the mom and pop toy stores that would have been in business in California that this law would have affected have probably been driven out of business.
No, they made sure you had to have it had to be a bigger stores. They wouldn't,
okay.
And then people were like, then people were commenting like, well, then little stores can still do that and they should be in trouble too.
Bullshit. Target already got rid of it. Walmart, like I said, I'm just thinking of all the layouts of the Walmarts we've been in, and for the most part, it goes by type of toy, not gender. Action figures, this aisle. And sometimes the action figure aisle has other stuff in, like mini arcade games and stuff like that, because they kind of go with the video game.
And I can
figures.
tell you, I did all that shop. If you've watched our channel, then you know about what we did at Christmas time. And I had to go shop for all these kids, and it was their list. And I can tell you for a fact, there were a bunch of girls who asked for Fortnite toys, who asked for Legos. It was, and you know what? The Fortnite toys are in the action figure aisle, and there was a lot of girls in the aisle looking at those toys. I didn't say, "How dare you be in this aisle?" Because don't you know it's just for boys? Because at the end of the aisle they have He-Mans. clearly just for boys, even
Yeah.
though I'm the one who keeps buying them. You know, I'm just like, this is stupid. It's just because they're putting their own biases, and they're opening their coat and saying, here's my biases. You know, I'm not wrong, because they're biased against this. They're trying to assume everybody else's bias. They are assuming your bias because they're basing it on their own biases.
Opening their coat. Check out my gender.
Yes, right. They're assuming, and they're flashing you their biases and demanding you have to abide by their biases at all times. So this is just, the hypocrisy is strong.
And we were actually more progressive in the 70s and 80s than they are now. Go figure. Well, we've been telling people this. We keep telling people this, but they don't. Ugh. We're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
Okay, so please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.